Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fit Pros. It's your boy, Jonathan Loudermilk, your host with the most. And as always, I've got my co-pilot partner in crime, Mark, the fitness ninja, Salmanoff. And dude, do you realize that we have been doing this since December? And it's now September. So what is it, 9 months?
Consistency, baby.
9 months, baby. We've been showing up for you. So you know what you could do for us? Oh, I have an idea. How about liking and subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review so that we can continue to help all of our brothers and sisters go out and get what they're worth. Also, if you're watching this and you get the screenshot, go ahead and tag us on Instagram at the Fit Pro Bro. So once again, we can help more of our brothers and sisters go get what they're worth. As always, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one because it's just John and I. So y'all stuck with us today.
Absolutely. We got some goodies for you. So we didn't pre-plan this, man, but do you have a fitness story that you'd like to share?
You know, I'm going to tell a good story.
Oh, like a good wholesome, like
I don't know if it's wholesome, but I'll just tell the story.
No Disney movie type beginning.
You ever seen the video of those voiceover guys?
Uh-huh.
They're fucking amazing.
Yeah, man.
And that's when you realize like it's the same guy that does every voiceover for every genre.
Right. And it's like a woman that does like the little boys' voices.
Like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, the lady that does Bart. That's like a 60-year-old woman.
So here's a story. I'll try to not make it too complicated. I have clients that compete in strongman competitions. And this actually started with my wife several years ago. I don't remember how we even got involved in it. It came up. She was like, yeah, I'll train for that. I was like, all right, this is fucking cool, right? So over the last few years, I've trained several clients doing this. And this past weekend, I had 2 of my females compete. And, you know, we show up to the event. And if you don't know strongman world, they tell you what you're going to do. Like, you know, everything in advance, you know, the weights, you know, the layout, you know, the format, you know, exactly how you need to perform. But then what happens is you show up and they change shit. And so like from a coach standpoint, it gets a little frustrating because I try to prepare my athletes as best as I can. And then they show up and like this weekend, it was supposed to be a wagon wheel deadlift with a regular bar. And then it was an axle bar, which that changes the whole fucking game. And then it was on carpet instead of concrete, which kind of messed things up there. So the point to all this though, is that, you know, as a coach, I believe that it's part of our responsibility to push our clients to get uncomfortable and more so than just the workout in the gym. We all know that's uncomfortable, but doing something with your fitness, whether it's strongman or, you know, obstacle course racing or marathon running, which is idiotic. Total offense to runners out there. You know, people
we're not runners.
We're not runners.
I lift things, sometimes hit faster than others.
But, you know, despite all the adversity or whatever you want to call it, they had a great time. They enjoyed the process and they're coming back for more in January. So, you know, again, if you're coaching people out there, be looking for things that you can challenge your clients on that are outside of the gym, because it makes them feel like a fucking $1 million when they're done. It builds, you know, that client relationship that we're all really striving to hammer home. And it motivates them because, I mean, you know, it's hard to just keep showing up to the gym when there's no end in sight. You know, the end is good health. Awesome. But you know, that's not always enough. So sometimes we have to look for those things. And the other thing that it does when you have a community of people, whether it's online or in person, it rallies everyone around them too. Because I walked into the gym on Monday, both the girls took the day off and everybody's like, how'd they do? Did they have fun? Did they do well? So it hammers home that community aspect as well. So it was super exciting. I always love watching that shit. It's so intriguing. It's great people watching. You know, we've talked about the weirdness of strongman before, but right. So if you're a coach, find things for your people to do. It's good for you. It's good for business. And it's really, really great for your clients.
Well, I think that's a great point too, because like And I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. And this isn't even about the topic of the episode we're going to talk about today, but now we're talking about this. Is I believe that the client, the customer, is looking for a higher level of relationship when it comes to the coaches that they work with now, right? Like the old days is you showed up for the session, you got your workout, you got your meal plan, that's it. You did your own thing. I believe with this whole shift of everything going online and what people are ultimately looking for, and you've talked about this hundreds of times with people craving that connection due to COVID kind of disconnecting us from one another, is people are looking for that. They're looking for the coach that's not just investing in just the exercises, the reps, the sets, the nutrition, and all the things, but how's that translating into the other areas of their lives? And this is just a great example of how what you're doing in the gym is actually, preparing them for what is literally outside the gym and being able to give them something to run after. So I think it's awesome.
Well, and what's cool too is that it shows that I built that trust, because they're not seeking these things out on their own. I see something and I'm like, ooh, like you would be really good at this. And the immediate response almost every time is no. Like, it's just, it's a hard no, real quick. And then they're like, okay, well, let me think, tell me more about it. Let me, why do you want me to do this? And so as a coach, it feels good because my people trust me and they know that I wouldn't ask them to do something I don't think they're capable of doing. They know I wouldn't ask them to do something that would embarrass them or that, would be defeating. So, the whole process gets elevated and that relationship just gets solidified through it. So it's so fun to watch the process. And I mean, you and I know, like we're around so many people that just willingly get uncomfortable all the time, but the majority of humans are not like that. The majority of us, we seek comfort first. So outside of the discomfort of the workout that is the known discomfort, it's hard for a lot of people to push outside of that. So, it's when you properly challenge people and you empower them and like Mike Claudio says, give them permission, then they kill it. They go at it and they give it all they got. And it's an awesome thing to watch.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And that's actually a perfect segue to the topic of today's episode. So you're talking about spotting talent. You're talking about giving people permission to go out and do the things that are going to grow themselves. And, I'm thinking about all the conversations I'm having with coaches. Some of them are clients, some of them are prospective clients. And I want to talk about a specific client that Mark, you and I both have that has come into our program and some of the takeaways that I've gotten from him. So this client started off in another program. I'm not going to list the name of the program. Like I'm not here to bash other companies or programs or coaches, whatever they're doing. It just wasn't a good fit for whatever reason. So he spent like $6,000 on this program. He felt like he was swimming in the ocean. He was drowning and he'd been in there for like 3 or 4 months and he hadn't done shit but make a couple PDFs and some pretty Canva photos. And it's just like, dude, I paid $6,000 to make some fucking Canva photos. Jonathan, please help me. So I was like, cool, I got you. Right. So we got him in our Fit Pro Collected program. I've done some one-on-one coaching with him and things like that. And it was really cool the other day. And he's been doing this for about 60 to 75 days. He's made 2 sales within that process of like around $2,700. Yeah. So he's literally paid off half of what he spent in the other program within 60 days of working with us. And I was just asking him, well, first I was just celebrating the shit out of his win. Like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like, go ring the bell. Like, that's so cool that you've done that and you turned that around. And I asked him, what's been the shift? What happened? He goes, well, Jonathan, the biggest shift for me from like going through what you guys are teaching and the conversations that we have is it's no different what I've done in the gym with picking up clients that I do online. I just now see online, specifically his Facebook group, as his gym, right? And any and all of you listening to this episode, whether you're brand new, which if you are, you're going to find this out soon if you're working at another gym, or if you're one of the OGs like me and Mark, is the way you build your business is you go out there, you shake hands and you add value and you do 4 polls and you talk to people and you get yourself known around that gym, right? Well, when you take that same attitude and that same hustle and you apply it to online and simply come from a place of service of like, hey, I'm here to help you. I want to actually add value first. that's really where things start to take off. And then with the online side, you can reach more people. If you're introverted as fuck like me, who gets anxiety around people I don't know, which by the way, that is totally me till this day. I just gotten better at handling it. Sending a DM is a way lot easier than just going up to a stranger on the treadmill, sweating their ass off, and go, "Hi, I'm Jonathan. Nice to meet you."
Man, I've had so much sweat slung on me over the years.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's back to that service mindset, right? So as a coach, if you're trying to grow your business, you're a problem solver. And if you put on that problem solving hat and approach it that way and not have that distinction of, well, this is online, so it's different than being in person. No, it's still people you're dealing with who have a problem, and you're willing to help them solve that problem. And this is sales 101. I mean, every transaction in history is between somebody who has a problem and somebody who can solve that problem. And the more you realize that, like yesterday, I needed some jeans. Amazon solved that problem because they have jeans. So it was a problem solved, and there was money exchange, and the money that I gave Amazon was less than the value that I believe I will receive. So that's the other side of this, is as you're adding value and you're showing and demonstrating that you can solve someone's problem, that value has to far exceed whatever your price point is. The price point is irrelevant. You could be charging $50 or $5,000. It doesn't matter. If you're demonstrating that the value you're going to give to someone is more than your price point, then people will pay you every single day to do that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also too, man, is the intent behind the giving of value. So absolutely. Prime example, you and I were rapping about this before we hopped on, is, dude, I've worked at so many gyms, Mark, I can't even remember all of them. I always forget one of them. I go, yeah, I worked there too, and what I've seen is the companies that did well, right, with this whole formula of like, we're actually going to help people by helping them first, typically did really well in their sales because the intention was pure behind that. And people can sense that a mile away. It's like the whole, like we joke about spammers and Bitcoin and business coaches sliding in your DMs and all those things. The reason you are offended is because you know the intention behind it. But if you're actually coming from a place of helping people by actually helping them first, this weird thing happens where you make money because people actually trust you and they take you seriously, going, wow, if I got all this up front and I haven't even paid anything, what do I get if I actually work with them? And that is a very wonderful place to put yourself in. And it's been really cool with this client that I'm talking about to see him go through that. And now he realizes that the world is his oyster. I was even telling him, Mark, I was like, dude, you're not even good yet. Like, wait till you get good. And then I realized I sounded like an asshole and I had to explain what that meant.
Because we know what that means.
I know what that means. Because like my wife heard me go, did you just tell a client that he's not even good yet? I was like, hold on a second, baby. Like, that's not what I meant. Like, it's actually, that should inspire you. Because if you're doing this and you're not good yet, dude, just imagine until you get semi-competent at this stuff, where this can take you. And I know that motivates the shit out of me in any area of my life that I'm working on, especially with my fitness right now, with Dante kicking my ass 3 times a week. I'm not going to lie. It's cool as shit to see the progress and doing the work and know it's going to happen from that. And it's true with business too. Just wait until we get good.
Yeah. That intent thing is so powerful because, we talked about this in the past about the subconscious messages that we receive. And if you're talking to somebody, you may not understand, you don't know what's going on in their life. So you don't know where their mind is. But as a coach, if your intent is, I got to make some money, and that's what you're leading with, it's going to come across in the way that you talk and not in the best of ways. And people sniff it out and they're like, man, there's something about it. It just doesn't feel right. That feeling you get is because of the messaging that you're receiving from the other side. And one big thing I've learned from my wife is like, trust your instincts on those things. Like the majority of time, our instincts are correct the first time. And if you think about decisions that you make over time where you're like, well, maybe it won't be so bad or what, like almost every time you fucking regret it. Like, damn it, I knew it. How many times have you said that and you're like, damn it, I knew it.
Dude, yeah, dude, I've taken what you shared, which is if it's not a fuck yeah, it's a fuck no.
Yep.
And that's probably one of the best things you've ever given me, dude. And you just said it randomly. I'm like, dude, that's a great way to make decisions. I think you and I were making a business decision and you brought that up. And I was like, you're right. It's not a fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not the right fit.
So, people feel that intent. And I think what coaches don't understand enough is that, yes, it can be frustrating at times when you feel like you're giving and giving and giving and giving and nothing's coming back, but it will. It just doesn't always come back in the same place. You may be talking to somebody and exchanging messages and giving them value and helping them solve some problems, and then they disappear. And then a month later, you get some random message from someone you've never talked to that says, hey, I want to work with you. What do I do? And you're like, where the fuck did this person come from? Well, it's a friend of that person that you helped and helped and helped, that they never had any intention of buying from you. But now they're going out and telling everybody, oh man, Jonathan's great. Yeah, he helped me so much. Oh, you need a coach? Yeah, I would go with him. Like if I was going to hire somebody, that's who I would hire, but I'm not going to spend any money, but you can't, like you just don't know where it's going to come back from.
Right.
You have to have that servant mindset of just, I'm going to put as much value as I can out in the marketplace and just know that the law of reciprocation will take care of me.
Yeah, man. And like the old days, dude, like we used to do adopt a member. So what? Yeah. And from the outside, you're like, what does that mean? Well, basically when you're in the gym, dude, you can see the people that are lost. Like it's fucking obvious. Like they're doing lat pull downs. They're pointing behind their neck. And it's like, what are you trying to work on? They're like, my traps. I'm like, well, fuck. Like, wait, let's talk. Right. You're going the wrong way, Bob. And I think when we took that mindset and I would pick 2 people a day, I would get out of my comfort zone and actually get to know them, not just talk to them so I could book an appointment or sell them a supplement or a trainer or whatever, but actually get to know that person. What's my angle to add value? And then I would move on. But if you do that every day, well, 2 times 30, that's 60 people. And then you start doing that every single month. Then all of a sudden you become the celebrity in that gym. It's no different online. You're just doing it at a larger scale and you can do things with a click of a button without you having to spend physical time with each person. So that's really the biggest mindset shift for those listening, that like, okay, how do I go online with this? It's no different than the in-person. It's just different tools and tactics. But in terms of the mindset, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, back to the problem solving thing, there's methods to the madness, obviously. We've talked about don't be dry humping people's DMs. You wouldn't roll up on somebody at Kroger and be like, look at my abs, buy my shit. Like that ain't cool. Don't do that shit.
Right.
Not if you want to build a sustainable business anyway. But if there's, if you feel like you're doing all the right things, if you feel like you're adding value, you're starting conversations, you're helping people, but it's not converting, then you really have to analyze that whole process from your mindset to your intention, like we just talked about, and then really the pieces of the puzzle in between, because chances are there's a part of that whole process is missing, or, there's a lack of confidence on your end of not being willing to just ask, hey, would you be interested in working with me? That question right there can make you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in your life. Yeah. Just go, hey, would you be interested in working with me? Because a lot of times, I swear to God, to me, it's still fucking weird. But like people, oh, are you still taking clients? Fuck yeah, I'm taking clients.
No, I turned it off.
Am I retired yet? Hell no. But people, we could inadvertently put this persona out that we're so full and so busy, and people like, oh, I didn't want to bother you. What? No, like hit me up. But if you don't ask, if you don't put that call to action out, then people aren't going to take the leap.
That's just part of just being willing to be told no. And as you get enough no's, you realize that the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. So I know if I'm going through a slump, I'm like, don't worry, baby, we're about to get the flood on the other end, because right now it's bad, but we're about to push through this and we're going to get favor and blessing on the other side. Because like you said, man, it always comes back to you. And you talk about that process, the middle part's actually the easiest to fix. That's just how. How is actually really simple once you know why am I doing what I'm doing and what is the outcome that I want to achieve. The how is really easy to tweak and figure out. And that's literally what you and I do with our coaches. Like the how's the simplest part. It's getting the why and the what is the most important.
It's so true. And again, to relate it to the client journey, when inevitably someone comes to you and says like, hey, I was thinking about trying keto. Well, the first question you should ask your client is why, and not in a rude manner, just like, okay, well, why are you considering that? And then let them talk and work through what that problem is. So if you don't know that why, you can't solve the rest of it. So whether it's the impact that you're trying to make as a coach, whether you have a goal to change 1 million lives by X year, whatever it may be, there has to be that purpose rooted behind it all. And it has to align with what you as a person stand for. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know how many thousands of times we have to mention core values, but at the root of all of this, if you are solid in your core values and you know what you as an individual stand for, then all this other shit, the mindset, the intention, the process, how you talk to people, like all that stuff gets so much easier because you're just confident in who you are. And then that's who you actually present to the world. It's not a facade. It's not a make-believe persona. It's not somebody you're trying to be because you think somebody else is successful online. So you're like, well, I'm just going to be like them because that shit never works either. You have to be you. And just as people sniff out bad intention, they also see good intention too. They see good-heartedness and they see servanthood. And most people will gravitate towards that every single day.
Yeah, man. And dude, that brings up another point. So we talk about core values all the time. Dude, this is how much of an impact it's had for me. So if any of y'all follow me on social media, I tend to pretty much say what I think and say what I mean, right? I'm pretty cut and dry. Like what you see is what you get. And, I've been fortunate to, be able to attract a lot of great people in my life. Some of them are clients, some are like you, Mark, friendships, business partnerships, all that stuff. And I had to go through that whole curve of like, well, I don't want to piss anyone off. I don't want to get canceled. I think that's the word that's being used. And unfortunately, I have pissed off quite a few people, but for every DM I get of why I'm this or why I'm that, which they don't know anything about me, I'm getting 2 to 3, even 10 times that at times. And people going, dude, Jonathan, thank you for showing up and doing what you do today. And no matter who you are, you're going to go through that process. Like Mark, like you're like the most likable human being I've ever met in my life, but I think I've seen a couple of times on threads where like someone got pissed off at something you said and you handled it well, but I'm like, damn, if Mark's out here pissing motherfuckers off, then they know that I'm definitely going to piss motherfuckers off. And Mark's way more likable than me.
It's so true. And I think I probably used to do the same thing. You try to be Switzerland and inevitably somebody's going to take you to war and you have to make a stand. And again, to me, like I've learned how to handle that stuff. I've learned when to respond, when not to respond, whatever, but it's so much easier to just be you and not worry about what everybody else is thinking, because when you draw that line, you make your fans bigger fans. The other people weren't going to do business with you anyway. They weren't going to be friends with you anyway. You weren't getting invited to the barbecue. Right. Like none of that was going to happen anyway. So you might as well be around people that enjoy you and your views, or at least respect your views and the things that you believe. It's funny. Like I saw, you put that thing on Facebook and the guy's like, I'm not going to do business with you. You're like, take care.
Yeah. Bye.
But it cracked me up because like, I see you as being kind of the same way. Like you're not really that controversial. I mean, you post some great memes that, can be shocking at times, but I mean, you're not out there like, making this hard stance on vaccinations or masks or politics or anything. So it really shocked me to see that. But to that point, somebody's going to take offense to everything.
Yeah. And it probably was one of my mass posts because that's the one that pissed somebody. I'm like, look, man, like if you don't want to do business with me because I have an opinion about the mask, which everyone has, and you can't respect that, then dude, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Like you're not who I'm looking for. Cause if you can't handle that, you definitely don't want to hear the real conversation going behind the door. Cause how I show up online is how I talk to people in coaching. And Mark, you can vouch for that too. And it's because it gets exhausting trying to be everything to everyone. You just can't do it. So why are we going on this rant, sharing this with you? Because once again, it goes right back to everything we're talking about online. The reason someone's going to pick you over the trainer at their gym that they charge $35 a session for, or the waist trainer or Herbalife or Atkins or whatever the fuck else is out there, they're going to choose you because of you. But they can't get to know you if you're not willing to be real and share where you're at.
Amen to that. This is just a mic drop right there.
Yeah, and it's just not exhausting, which that's the main reason I do. I'm too lazy to lie. I forget shit. I'll fuck it up.
Right.
Or
So
just be like, here's my stance.
so much easier to just remember the truth, right?
Yeah, right.
So again, if you're a coach and you're listening to this, remember these are lessons that, for the most part, like Jon and I had to personally go through these things. And we're able to help compress time for you guys by sharing these things because, I'm 19 years in and it's been like 2 years of people pointing this shit out to me. So I was, out there just fucking rogue, Mad Maxing it, trying to figure shit out on my own forever. And it wasn't until, I got around the right people and invested in myself to start figuring this shit out. So, if you're listening to this and you're a coach, I hope you're taking some notes, even if it's just one thing that we mentioned. One thing that you can take and go implement immediately, I promise you it will change your business.
It's 1 degree. It's always that one little tiny shift that makes all the difference when you're doing that. So, if you got value out of the episode, as always, leave a review, subscribe, all the fun things. We also have a training available for you that you will hear at the end of this. I highly recommend you take advantage of that. And if you feel like you could use some help with this stuff, by all means, please reach out to Marc or I. We have an application page where we'll ask you a short amount of questions so that we can get clear on where you're at. And then we'll lay out a plan for you on what you need to do moving forward, whether that's with us or without us. We're truly on a mission to help our brothers and sisters get paid with their work. So whatever we can do to help facilitate that, please, by all means, make sure you reach out to Marc or I. We'll make sure he gets taken care of.
That's what it's all about. And on that note, Jon, ooh. I know that you have one short little message left to tell the people.
You're damn right. Go get what you're worth, damn it. Yeah. Damn good show.
Damn good.